Homeboy actually paid me back. Last month, I made a video discussing my experience in suing my former roommate, and if you've been following my channel for a couple years, you could have guessed that the former roommate was none other than Seer. Before moving in together, we were having so many excited conversations and phone calls about moving in together.
Come on, let's move to downtown. Please, come on, let's move to downtown. I want to go to that crepe store. Let's make some money. Listen, do you realize, you probably don't, but do you realize that the next chapter in our life is us just living in a fucking 2-bedroom in downtown? Living frugal, cooking tacos and shit, filming all the time.
Yes!
Money.
Money.
Making fucking money.
Fucking money.
Fucking files and fucking files.
Oh god, external hard drives.
I don't think you fucking even stand.
Fucking A, I understand a little bit.
That's what's next. And
okay, we can do this.
It's coming to a fucking precipice here.
The fuck
I'm
is a
gonna be
precipice?
out soon.
Anyways, he kicked me out abruptly and never allowed me to pick up some of the things that were still left in the apartment, and he also never paid me back for some of the bills that were attached to my name.
You are, however, entitled to pick up any of your belongings when you want. Any money owed for Wi-Fi or utilities, you will be PayPal to.
Okay, so I'm still waiting, by the way. About 10 months go by, and at this point, I'm just tired of this guy like holding my things and my money over me. So I just decided that, you know what, he's completely avoiding me, so I'm just gonna file a lawsuit. So I sued him in a small claims court. A little over a week ago, I find out that he sent over a priority mail envelope. Homeboy actually paid me back. What's interesting is he didn't even bother putting his name in the from section. However, I immediately recognized his ASMR serial killer roleplay handwriting and was absolutely shook. And of course, the address was where I used to live. I anxiously opened it and there was nothing in there except a plain white envelope, and in the envelope was a money order. Now the craziest part about this is if you look at the date of when the money order was purchased, it says May 17th. Now what's so crazy about this? Let's have a look at the date of when I posted my video of speaking on my experience in small claims court. I may have to stand in front of a judge next to him and explain the story as to what actually is happening. Like, my video went live on May 16th at around 7 p.m. This means that he was made aware of it probably pretty soon after, and he went to purchase the money order and mail it to me the very next day. And people insist on commenting, "What's the point of making videos about this?" I went to court on March 1st and the judgment was ruled out less than a week later, so it's not like he randomly remembered to pay me back. I waited 2.5 months before making this whole thing public through the video, and I didn't even mention his name in the video or the description, but the video got to him and he paid me back, and that's what matters. Now real quick, I should have probably gotten that money order a lot sooner considering he did mail it literally a day after I posted the video. However, the reason why I didn't get it was because he sent it to my brother's address, and that's because when I filed the lawsuit, I didn't want him knowing my address. I mean, considering how like crazy his girlfriend is, I didn't want him or her to like stalk me or do some vengeful stuff, you know what I mean? So I hope they don't go after my brother. Sorry. So yeah, my brother was a little late on notifying me, and on top of that, he didn't even sign the money order. As you can see right here, that part is not signed. So when I went to the bank, the bank teller didn't want to take it. He was like, in case this gets bounced, I don't want the responsibility to be on me. But the ATM might take it. So later on, I went to an ATM, deposited the money order, and it took it. And a few days later now, it still hasn't rejected it or bounced it. So here I am confirming that Seer has indeed paid his dues. Whew. Ever since he kicked me out, Seer has sort of been what some people might call a coward. Now I try not to name call, especially publicly like this, but a lot of people have been telling me throughout the past year and a half that I've been very easy on him. And honestly, if you look at the definition of a coward objectively, it means a coward is a person who lacks the courage to do or endure dangers or unpleasant things. Had I never made that video, I'm sure he would have never cared to pay me back. I mean, at this point, like at the point where I made that video, he had already owed me money for almost a year and a half. In fact, ever since he kicked me out, we had one conversation, and in this conversation, all he did was try to defend his actions on kicking me out and stop me from making a video on detailing the way he kicked me out and all that stuff, as well as defending the twisted actions of everything his girlfriend did. That's all the whole conversation was. He really didn't want me to make a video exposing what went on in that apartment, and it really wasn't fair because at this point they had both already made a Periscope with thousands of viewers exposing what they thought was the truth, which was basically just painting me and Mina in a horrible light. It seems to me he's afraid of having people know the truth about who he really is. After the infamous live show he did with his girlfriend, he tweeted, "Anyone who wants to speak for me can actually politely fuck off. I'm more than capable of speaking for myself when I'm unhappy. Kind of a funny tweet when you consider how many people connected to Seer have actually had a go at me. This dude might be lacking some serious self-awareness. I mean, so many people connected to him have actually had a go at me, and he has had no problem with it. I mean, let's start off with his girlfriend, who texted me speaking on his behalf. Oof. Upon receiving this text, I tweeted Seer and I said, look, I'm free to agree. I can agree to her terms as long as they're actually coming from you and you have the balls to tell them to me yourself. And guess who replied after I made that tweet? That's right, Dasha did, not him.
For your information, those terms are coming from him. I have not written the message just by him myself. He just has no interest in speaking with you. I asked him several times. Those are the consequences you will have to suffer.
I'm obviously biased, but that sounds like a psychopath. And let's not forget the text sent to Mina from his phone, written by his girlfriend. Oof.
I had also gotten a message from Dasha through Seer's phone.
I am disappointed, but once again not surprised, since it's always more convenient for you to run away and cry instead of facing the problem and telling me these things straight into my face. Aside from the second live stream him and his girlfriend did, in which they addressed the drama directly and I already debunked to be full of lies, he never really talked about the drama publicly. Like, it's, as far as I know at least, he tried to really avoid it. He made some obvious subtweets, but he did slip up once when he tweeted this. I know it really sounds like he's referring to his own girlfriend in this tweet, but believe it or not, he actually believes that Mina is a verified crazy girl with an agenda. Really, Seer? And what exactly validates these claims you have against Mina? Sure, I called your girlfriend crazy earlier in this video, and I can go ahead on record and say that I think she has an agenda and she is a social climber, but that's all because of things that I've already proven and shown direct examples of and testimonials in other videos and stuff. So now it's your move. What do you think this is my girlfriend? Of course that was a rhetorical question and I don't actually expect the guy to defend himself, but hey, maybe he'll open up about a tragedy or something else going wrong in his life and use that as a shield for criticism, you know? Now, I've shown plenty of examples in the past of his fans and his girlfriend poking fun of me and Mina. However, this one recently came to my attention, and as you can see, it looks like a screenshot of one of Mina's stories zoomed in and captioned, "I'm terrified." Now, I know she was a Seer fan because she used to be a fan of mine as well, and because they paid more attention to her, I guess she chose their side. I don't care. However, I find it extremely childish that she tags her friend and she says, "Gets it, she gets it. Go watch her story, I'm laughing so hard." So I don't know if they're making stories just making fun of Mina, but as you can see, Seer's girlfriend isn't even tagged in this and she goes ahead and comments, "Oh my god, I love you too." She's getting off on the harassment of Mina. Anyway, showing examples of fans harassing us would be redundant at this point, so I want to move on to showing examples of people that are directly connected to Seer that have had a go at me publicly. Garrett is one of Seer's real life friends and he says, "Damn dude, I hope no one sends ice to your mom's house to get your girlfriend who's in this country illegally." Oh come on Garrett, do they really have you believing that Mina was in the country illegally? It seems that everything that could be seen as even slightly negative onto Dasha has always been deflected and put onto Mina. I mean, come on, what the hell? Who only came here to use your former roommate? Mina did not come here to use Seer. She came here because she was offered some sort of small vacation from the hell that was living in her family home. If anything, they ended up using her and making her into some sort of unicorn in their weird relationship and coercing her into things she didn't want to do. By the way, never paying rent doesn't make you a roommate. It makes you a guest in someone's house. Do you think if I never paid rent, I would have taken Seer to court? Oh my god. Also Garrett, I'm super curious as to how you ended up making a 180 flip on your stance on Seer's girlfriend, because the day after I was kicked out, you came over to the apartment, you saw how shitty the whole situation was, you saw how upset I was, you even took a fucking picture of me. Do you remember this picture? Am I refreshing your memory? Do you remember when you said that Dasha was crazy and dangerous? Because those were your words, Garrett. Anyways, let's move on to another comment to another friend of Seer's whom I've also personally met, and this is a more recent one from 2 weeks ago, and he says, "So let me get this straight. This is your 11th video about Dasha and Seer." Okay, so you want to get this straight, let me correct you. First of all, no, if you think that every video that I've made on them is about the same thing, then you're obviously not paying attention. And if you think that this is the 11th video on them, then you're definitely not paying attention. Now for context, this comment was actually placed on the video called The Real Dasha Part 1, and it's actually the 4th video I've made about them. The first video is called Edwin and Mina Get Kicked Out by Seer and Dasha. This was of course the first time I came out on video to talk about the details surrounding me getting kicked out. Then I did Edwin responds to Seer's lies, and in this video I respond to Seer and his girlfriend's lies and a bunch of other stuff. Lastly, I did a video called I Love Growing Up, which was a response to both Onision and Seer. That's literally 3 videos, plus the one you're commenting on, 4. You're gonna have to do better than inflating the number of videos I've done on them to extend the victimization on your friends. Another thing that I want to say is that if you watch every single video that I've done on them, it's always been a response. Like, I've been provoked to make it for a very specific reason. I never just wake up one day and be like, I want to make a video, let's see her. It's always about something that him or his girlfriend have done. So I have to wonder, do you also tell Seer and his girlfriend to stop harassing me and Mina, or are you so blindsided that you literally just think that it's all unprovoked? Sure, Seer overall has been the least outspoken out of everybody, especially publicly, but that does not mean that he does not see his girlfriend completely harass us all the time. I mean, she made 142 hate posts, dude. She leaked my girlfriend's nudes and she posted her passport online. I don't understand how much more I can spell out the severity of her actions. This probably isn't the best analogy, but I feel like people that just won't listen to the facts, the stuff that I presented, and that will continue supporting Seer and his girlfriend no matter what. I feel like they're just like the hardcore Republicans or Democrats that no matter what, they just don't want to listen to the other side. Like, dude, you are not always supporting the right person. I get it. You like their content, you like what they did, but it doesn't mean they're God. People can screw up, and they will screw up, and they are consciously screwing up, and they don't care to backtrace their actions. They don't care. And by the way, that whole really tired and lazy argument of like, oh, you keep making videos on them, you keep mentioning them. I find nothing wrong with anybody ever mentioning a experience in their lives, especially if it's traumatic. But honestly, Dasha can say whatever she wants about me and Mina. I don't care. She can run her mouth as much as she wants. But when it's lies, I'm definitely allowed to defend myself, And if people are tired of it, that's on them. But it's not like I'm recycling new, old information here. Everything I've been saying has been new. If I do rehash on something or re-emphasize it, it's because I don't want people to forget, and I think it's very important to emphasize certain points. All right, I'll chill out for a second. Get intense. People legitimately get so worked up over me vlogging and talking about my life when it's literally all I've done on YouTube. If you look at my track record, you know what I mean? It's so strange to me. It's like, oh, you've talked about them 5 times? You're only allowed 4. That's the limit. Bitch, no, I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, however many times I want. If you don't like it, the title is very clear what it's gonna be about. You have every right not to click on it. I'm sick of these fucking comments complaining like, oh my god, another video? Nobody made you click it. Those comments saying if you just ignore them, they'll go away, that didn't work for a year and a half, and guess what? Ever since I started calling them out, Dasha has gone MIA. So it seems like the opposite has actually happened, huh? Just saying, man, you're not gonna silence me when it comes to abusers. Oh geez, almost forgot I was reading a comment here. Okay, so let's see. This is your 11th video about Dasha and Seer because they kicked you out of their place when you didn't pay rent. Oh my gosh. So as recent as 2 weeks ago, Seer is still telling people that I didn't pay rent? Really? Then why did he send me a money order to pay me back? I also love how he calls it their place when Dasha practically lived in our apartment since we moved in and didn't even pay rent until January. I always thought it was weird that Dasha would always say, I invited Mina to my house. It's like, girl, no, that was literally not your place until maybe January of 2017 when you received that strange envelope in the mail and you started counting $3,000 in front of me smiling. That was so weird. Sounds to me you're upset someone called you out on your entitlement and laziness. Me lazy, huh? That's funny coming from someone that's too lazy to fact check such simple things. I mean, you really believe everything that someone's feeding into your ears, huh? At this point, I feel like I gotta apply some sort of like villain voice. You're almost 30, huh? Still living with your parents? A YouTube channel according to Social Blade is dying? Oh, hold on. See, now I think it's clever. I think people should always cite their sources. That's the one thing that I took away from university. And the thing is weird is that he's citing Social Blade, but if you actually take a look at my Social Blade, it's actually doing a lot better than it ever was when I was living with Seer. Ever since I started dedicating my time to really like finding myself and what kind of videos I wanted to make for this channel back in like October 2017, I started to figure out myself and people really seem to dig it. And honestly, I think when people talk about their Social Blade, it is the cringiest thing, but saying my channel is dying and using a source that says the opposite, really, bro? And not only that, but you're older than me, bro. And mom? Oh, wait, no, I'm not living with my mom. I'm living with my brother, and I have been for a very long time. So it's just so sad that they're like, I don't know. It's just sad. I don't understand how, like, what they're telling you. Alright, it says there's nothing exciting happening in Arizona. After 11 videos, you may want to explore the fact that you have become the cyberbully. Now, if it makes me a cyberbully to expose the horrible actions and crimes that someone has done, then sure, I'll take that title of a cyberbully. But I have never condoned any harassment onto Dasha or encouraged it when people have done it to her. I have never made fun of her looks, which she has done onto both me and Mina, and I already said this. I feel like I'm just a broken record, so let's just move on. The point is that you're silly. Now, I only met Andrew once. When he came over to our apartment on New Year's Eve and we played Super Smash, he was very funny. We laughed together a lot. He seemed like a decent dude. And, you know, I thought Garrett was a decent dude too. So it really confuses me and shocks me in a way to see them come to my channels and comment all these lies. Like, how have they been so brainwashed to believe everything without even caring to see what I have to say? It's strange. Just days after I was gone, Seer had his friend Anything for Views come over and stay at our apartment. Okay, not my apartment anymore. So his apartment and stay in, not my room, but the room where I used to stay and sleep on my bed, which that was definitely still my bed. And on January 23rd, Anything for Views tweeted me saying that he was gonna be banging girls off of Tinder on my bed. On January 30th of last year, I tweeted, "You can only sweep so many things under the rug until they start to come out." And this is because of so much like built up irritation from Dasha just tweeting so much hate and private information about me and Mina. To which Anything for Views responded to that tweet with a picture of Seer sweeping underneath his rug. It just all seemed like a really big joke. He deleted the tweets and I never got a screenshot, but there are still tweets replying to those specific tweets, and I also have a conversation with Seer in which I told him how messed up I thought it was that his friend was tweeting those kinds of things at me. I mean, at this point, every day I was becoming more and more depressed. And the thing about Seer is that he never wants to take blame for anything he ever does. He always justifies people's actions. He says it was because he complained a lot and it was because he was upset that I left. Chad dealt with me venting about it, and if you know him, he literally tweets whatever. No, I don't know your friend. That's the thing. I never met this guy. All I literally knew about this guy at this point was that he was the overweight Australian friend of Max Mofo and iDubbbz and Filthy Frank, that he was in their videos always receiving pain. On top of that, I literally knew nothing about the guy except that you told me he complained to you about not feeling included in those guys' videos. I had tweeted a picture of me in a Santa thong as a joke with a meme caption, and he went back through my media just so he could find something to try to insult me. It was really bizarre. And again, the reason why I knew for sure that he was with Seer is because I asked around some of my fans, like, why is this guy replying to a 4-month-old tweet? You know, like, it's so random. And because he doesn't follow me and I don't follow him, and he's got like over 100,000 followers, you'd think he'd have something better to do. And then apparently through Instagram stories or something like that, they found out that he was at the apartment. Alright, now let's get our hands a little dirty. Chad, in your tweet you say to me, "I'd pay not to see this." Really? Then how come you scrolled all the way through my Twitter just to find that? What's your obsession, bro? Now second, you say, "You must have a really skinny penis." I bet you'd like to know, wouldn't you? Now, I've seen your penis because for some reason you've tweeted it and it was like retweeted and stuff in my timeline, and bro, what? Who are you to judge? Like, that's not even... Like, yours isn't even skinny or fat, it's just like barely there. I don't like to criticize that kind of thing, but you took a jab at me first, Essie. Another one of Seer's influencer friends was one called Emma Dorable. Now this chick actually stayed over at Seer's place, and she was harassing us while she was there, so it's not like you can pretend it's not happening, bro. You're seeing it happen. She was publicly doing this on Twitter. I never got screenshots, and she was suspended on that username and suspended on the other username I looked up for her. This was probably around late January to early April when she was harassing us, and at this point I wasn't quite the king of receipts. I was very stressed out and depressed, so I didn't think to screenshot, and plus she didn't delete the tweets, but she was suspended on that account and another account. However, there was a tweet she made to Mina that I won't forget, Emma, and it was you calling Mina childish and justifying it by saying, well, her chest is like a child's too. Making fun of Mina's chest, of course. Actually, as I'm editing this, I did some digging and I did end up finding a DM from Emma in which she said that there would be consequences if I ended up saying anything public. Trying to say that she doesn't want anything to hurt me. Yeah, real sincere considering she ended up harassing us later on. And I did find a screenshot of her making fun of Mina. And these tweets were made on April 20th of last year. Last but not least, there was a guy called Net Nobody. Now, thank you so much for not deleting your tweets so I can actually have the receipts up on the screen. I totally forgot that Sexy Edwin and Onision know someone else's relationship better than the person in it. How could we be so foolish? Onision and Seer haven't really been friends since Seer has been dating Dasha, so just because Onision happened to guess what Dasha does for money, it does not mean that Onision has some sort of insight on Seer's relationship, so I agree with that bit. However, I do feel like I got a decent glimpse of their relationship considering I lived and saw everything. And again, this tweet was completely unprovoked. I don't know this guy, I never met this guy. All I knew was that he's got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube and like, is friends with Seer. So I'm assuming that Seer once again vented to this guy and then he went off on me. I said to him, hey man, I don't think we've met. I lived with Seer, so I have a decent idea of the relationship. If you want to talk, let me know. To which he says, I don't give a shit about you. I know enough about this because I've seen everything, you fucking whack job. Okay. And again, I've never met this guy. I've never had any sort of conversations with him or exchanges before. And on top of that, he took a screenshot of the conversation and he made a public tweet saying, "No wonder his ass got booted. Dude's ego probably takes up 4 rooms. I live with them. I know their love life." Me saying I have a decent idea of their relationship does not mean I know their love life. Or I don't even see how that implicates that I have a big ego. Like a year later, I still don't get it. I think I had made a mistake by even engaging with him in the first place because he would not stop like tweeting at me and at one point tweeted me like a picture of the victim card. He also commented a few of my videos sharing the same sentiment. Now, did Seer ever step in and try to stop this guy or his other friends or his fans or his girlfriend from any of this? Nope. Instead, he just stayed silent and watched everybody do his dirty work. I really don't understand why so many people prefer to ignore me and listen to Seer. What is it? Is it his slight resemblances to Johnny Depp, or is it because he's a more popular YouTuber? The guy actually considering getting the commentary community to dismantle my channel. Based on what? Hearsay? I'd like to see you fucking try. And I get it, there are a lot of people who want to say, "Oh, Seer's just a victim of the abuser that abused your girlfriend. She's probably abusing him too." Well, if you believe that, you better be telling him that too. Because leaving a comment on my videos saying those thoughts does nothing. Why don't you tell him? I mean, if you actually believe that Seer is completely innocent and has not done anything, and he's not an enabler and supporter of an abuser, then does that sort of make you an enabler because you believe that he's being abused and you're doing nothing about it? You're not even messaging him about it? I don't know, man. I just don't think it's as innocent as people say because I've received a lot of information on the back end, but that's not what this video is about. All right, last but not least, his manager. Seer's manager actually reached out to me. Interesting. On May 30th, I had tweeted that I would be posting The Real Dasha Part 2 the very next day. I was legitimately finishing up my video when I saw the screenshot and it just took me by surprise, so I emotionally tweeted, "Someone sent me a post made by Seer about his father having a stroke, and I'd like to say that I am sorry to hear that and I hope he recovers soon. It should go without saying that I would never want anything to happen to him or his family." However, he made a quick 180 in the post. Seer said, "To anyone choosing to introduce negativity into my life right now, there is actually a place in hell for you. I think it's shameful that Seer would turn a personal tragedy into a weapon to preemptively turn his fans against me as if I could have predicted what happened to his dad." And then I made another tweet just frustrated, like, what the hell? Am I supposed to delay this video that I've been working my ass off on? The video's not really about him either. It's about his girlfriend and her criminal actions. So if she happens to complain about being called out, then technically that would be him introducing negativity into his life, not me. So maybe there's actually a special place in hell for her, and it wasn't even meant to be about me. So maybe I shouldn't have even taken it so personally to begin with. I was just so stressed out at this point because those videos had consumed me by so much. So, I was just like emotionally tweeting. And then I noticed like one of his friends tweeted me, and I recognized his name because a mutual friend of me and Seer's had tweeted with both of them. So like, oh, okay, another one of Seer's friends. And he's coming at me not so hostile for once. Seer's friend made multiple replies, and some of the people following also saw his replies, and they were confused as to why John seemed to make this so much about Seer when the videos were about his girlfriend. He said to someone, "Just hoping that both parties can come to a resolution. Anger or revenge-focused content only breeds more of that type." Okay, so I said, "John, I noticed that many people have been replying to you, and I hope you don't feel attacked. I don't know you, but I can see you're a Twitch producer. It may be a difference of opinion, but this is more of a justice thing than a revenge thing. I appreciate you for at least approaching this in a kind way." Despite him attempting to come off as some Switzerland peacemaker, obviously he had bias towards Seer, but I at least could appreciate that he was being respectful about it. He said he knew me through my work with Jack and Seer, and that he also worked with them as well, and that he was definitely willing to hear me out and to let him know if there's anything he could do to help. Later on, he followed me, and then I followed him back, and he sent me a DM resonating the same thoughts that, "Hey, let me know if there's anything I can do to help." To which I said, "Oh my gosh, dude, where were you last year when all his friends were attacking me instead of being kind, He didn't say anything back, and then a few days later it clicked. Holy crap, wait a second. He worked with Jack and Seer, and his name is John. This is clicking a bell. It reminded me that this is Seer's manager when he did a tour. A few days go by, and I thought I'd send him another message saying, "Hey, it clicked. I remember you being his manager a few years ago." Because he had already been following me for a few days. I told him that I hoped that it had been made clear by now from my Twitter feed who the central enemy of my girlfriend and I was. Because I didn't want him thinking that I was trying to go after Seer. I didn't receive a reply though, until June 13th. 2 weeks later, okay, better late than never, but it was a public tweet reply, and he was angry at me. It was a response to me tweeting out a screenshot of Seer at E3 that someone took from a popular live stream. I was once again emotionally outraged and just tweeting like without thinking twice, and I had admitted that it was probably salty, but I was like outraged because not only did it feel like that special place in hell comment was towards me, but he also said that he was gonna go visit his dad to take care of him after a stroke. It's been over 2 weeks. And not only that, he also said that he was gonna help with with the flooded basement. So it's been over 2 weeks and the basement's still flooded, waiting for him to get there. Like, it didn't make sense to me, you know? It's like, this guy's still in LA. He said this right when I was meant to upload my video to like, hey guys, I'm going through a tough time. Don't nobody introduce anything negative to me. Like, bro, it just didn't make sense to me. So I was very emotional, you know? Dude, I booked him to be at E3 for these few days because that is his job now. Stop stalking him on this level. It's beyond obsessive. Huh. Saying I was beyond obsessive and that I was stalking Seer, it triggered me a little bit, so I decided to quote tweet him, and I said, if you think me tweeting a screenshot someone sent me from Ice Poseidon's livestream is stalking and obsessive, then I can't imagine what you'd consider what Seer's girlfriend has been doing for the past year and a half. Now, just for context, Ice Poseidon is a live streamer and he gets tens of thousands of viewers per stream. So if he's streaming at E3 and someone sends me a screenshot that, hey, look what Seer's doing, and I happen to be like angry about it, oh my god, that's me stalking? Really? That's me being obsessive? Okay. Now, I totally get that it could have come off as me being salty, like I get it, but to call me beyond obsessive and a stalker, I think that's quite the reach if you consider the context. Even Mina was mad enough to quote tweet, and she said, Dasha is the one being obsessive, John. If you did some unbiased research, you'd see the evidence of this. Your client is supporting and enabling my abuser. My baby girl. Of course, every tweet regarding Dasha, John avoided like the plague, and he replied to me again saying, for confirmation, yes, his father had a stroke. Yes, it's hard on his family right now. Yes, he plans to go home to help take care. You don't need further details on anything else because none of this involves you or is targeted towards you. And I said, I never claimed him being at E3 was relevant to me. It's so random. In my original tweet, I admitted that I was salty, maybe too salty over his comment of saying there's a special place in hell. But the whole helping with the basement flooding, it's been over 2 weeks, bro. And it's weird for him to say that I don't need further details, but he's like here giving me information that I don't even care about. I never denied any of the stuff that Seer has said. I only said that I thought it was weird that he would like do it on the day that that was meant to upload, and then also say that he's gonna need to fly like as soon as possible to help with the basement flooding. Or maybe I mistook it. Maybe it didn't even mean as soon as possible. Maybe it just meant like whenever the flood of the basement, I don't know. I've never been inside an Ohio basement, but I don't know if they're supposed to go away on their own or I don't know. At this point, honestly, I just hope that Seer's family has hired somebody else to help with the basement flooding. I mean, can someone in Seer's family seriously check up on that? What the fuck? It's becoming apparent via the quoted tweet and your followers' methods of engaging with me that I am just furthering your social cause and fueling the drama that gains you more followers and viewership. If you want to actually talk and find resolve, I'm available to chat. Social cause, I like that. And do you know what my social cause is, John? Because in case it isn't clear, I will spell it out for you. It is to shut down the abuser that your client is currently supporting and enabling. Does it upset you that you're on the supporting side? Does it upset you that you believe that you've helped me gain followers and viewership by defending these people? I mean, how many followers do you think you've gotten me? And how many viewers do you think you've gotten me as well? Because if anything, I feel like I'm giving you more exposure right here. You're the one choosing to engage with me publicly despite us having a direct message like possibility, you know, we follow each other, but you chose not to DM me. And the excuse you used to ignore both of my DMs, both sent on 2 different days, is because I said that I consider them an enemy. Now, I said that Dasha was a central enemy. Now, I didn't even think that implicated as Seer being an enemy, but like after we had this exchange, I sat back and I'm like, whoops, I guess I can see his point of view, how it would mean that Seer is an enemy because I called Dasha a central enemy. But I was thinking about it and I was like, wait, is Seer an enemy? Because for someone that's supporting and enabling the abuser of my girlfriend, that's certainly not a fucking ally. An accomplice to a criminal? Not really an ally. I am still available to help bridge whatever conversation is needed at this point, but I hope you both can handle. I'm not gonna triple DM you, John, okay? At this point, I'm sick of why I'm the one on the shit receiving end of the stick, and why do I have to be the one to try to resolve things with people that are so fucking abusive towards me? Why? So you know what, John? You can take your fake pacifist attitude, pretend that you care, and shove it. I don't care about trying to reach out to someone that obviously only cares about protecting the reputation of their client because that's who makes them money. No hard feelings, I don't actually know you, but actually do your research before you blindly support abusers. And if you want to convince your other client or make them believe whatever lies you're being told, then so be it. I don't care. I don't care if no one supports me in this cause, because all I care about is that I'm not being shut down, and I'm not gonna let you get in the way of that, dude, because this is not right. It's really fucking black and white what's happening, right and wrong, and you're on the wrong side. Like, that's all it is. Now, that's not to say we haven't been receiving tons of support, and I'm super grateful for all your comments, and especially to YouTubers that have actually used their platform to spread awareness on this issue, because this is something that needs to be talked about and not just ignored. So I want to give a special shout out to Ready to Glare for being the queen of glaring, and Repzilla for being the queen of lizards. I have never asked any YouTuber or social media influencer to speak up for me, so this means so much to me. Thanks everybody for watching, and I super appreciate the support. I know there'll still be hate comments and dislikes, but it doesn't matter to me, you know, because for so long I felt uncomfortable and felt awkward and cornered when his people would go after me, and I'm so happy that I'm finally comfortable to stand on my own. I mean, all these people still have more influence than me, but I don't care, man. I really don't care. So good morning and good lunch, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's coming to a fucking precipice here.
What the fuck is a precipice?